Hey guys! I am so sorry. It has been so long, hasn't it? I am so sorry I've been so inconsistent about posting. My life has been incredibly busy. I still can't tell you exactly why, but I will tell you that next week I'm not going to post anything because I'm going to be out of town on travel. But this past week, what I've been doing is investing a ton of time into doing what I promised I would do, like 3 weeks ago, which was redrawing something that I've already drawn in the past. So this image is of one of my original characters and then my original persona. Oh my god! So this is Zaya, and then Zaya's human form. I think I was playing Arcade or something, that's why there's such a weird outfit on her. And today I basically want to just redraw this in my current style with my current coloring and so on. However, I am going to make a few subtle changes. I want the characters to be interacting a little bit more. In the original, the human version is pretty much just enveloped in the wolf tail and body, and she's kind of just standing there being surrounded. But in the new version, what I want to do is I actually want to have her interacting a little bit. I want her to be kind of holding Zaya's head, and I want them to actually be having some kind of a moment. Maybe they're looking at each other. So I was a big fan of my inking back then, but I think I've only improved as far as inking goes, at least. I still have my big head problem. Everything has a gigantic head, always. I am going to keep pulling in some elements that I really liked from the original, though, which are things like, I really like how the girl's hair is kind of floofing about, but I want it to actually be flying in one direction. I want to direct the eye with the tail and with her hair to kind of have this wispy effect. And oh my god, it is so weird to draw these characters after this long. I don't think I've drawn Zaya in either her human or her animal forms in at least 3 or 4 years. But it's so much fun, and the nostalgia! Although I gotta say, looking at the old one as I'm doing this, just to make sure I'm getting all of the details I want to get right, there's so much stuff that I love about my old style that if I felt like I had more time to spend on art, I would love to bring some of that stuff back. But I don't know, you guys are gonna have to tell me what you think of the final version, because I think I did a really good job of the color saturation by the end of this. So Zaya was a character that was near and dear to my heart for many, many years because she was like one of my very first OCs, and this was back when Sparkle Wolves and Scene Dogs were a thing. And if I may just interject upon myself real quick, I realize that I grew up in a generation that is confusing, which definitely means that if you don't know what I'm talking about, you're either too young or you're too old to know. And that's just unfortunate, because you will never know the embarrassing majesty of creating a wolf with leg warmers. So don't judge me, I'm sure you're judging me anyway. But she had pitch black hair, pitch black bangs, really, really long fluffy tail. She was some kind of a weird like wolf, dire wolf, demon hybrid or something, I don't even remember anymore. And she had these moons on the back of her ears that would glow for no reason. I mean, technically there was a reason. Technically it was because I was a big fan of the night back then, as you can maybe tell with these spiked chokers. I did that too, yeah. That was also a part of my look back in high school and middle school. And maybe a little bit of college. But yeah, I certainly did love my spiked chokers, spiked armbands, heavy makeup. Oh, and to be clear, like, if you enjoy all this stuff now, that's totally cool. I'm just making fun of myself. There are some people who can still pull this off, and you look crazy cool. But yeah, for me, I would personally say that my sense of fashion and accessorizing has developed a bit. Some other stuff that I got into when I was creating Zaya were comics, actually. I started making a comic book. I even did an animatic, I had auditions, it was beautiful. I'm not gonna show anybody that old channel because there's still stuff on it, but just know that it does exist somewhere in the deep reaches of YouTube. You can find auditions for my webcomic. I'm pretty sure that everyone who had a canine character was inspired by Kei Fetowa's BBA. Was that Black Blood Alliance, I think? I should probably actually check that out before I give you guys the wrong information. Let me see. Yes, I'm right! It was called the Black Blood Alliance. Cool, I can't believe I still remember that. You can tell how much of an impact it had on young me when I haven't read something for 10 years and I still remember the name of it. Yeah, good old times. Had a role-playing forum and everything. Went the whole 9 yards with this. It was actually a lot of fun though, but Zaya was basically this alpha female who was leading this pack by herself, and it was kind of this pack of misfits, sort of, how unusual. Everyone had some kind of distinctive superpower, because scene dogs were definitely not enough. They needed superpowers. Ah yes, those were some very good times. But on a more serious note, you guys, for as much as people make fun of the furry community, or wolves, or people having animal OCs or whatever, I hope you realize that a lot of people have succeeded in their art careers and even gotten started in their art careers because of the draw they had towards a certain animal. I think that people who draw anthropomorphized animals get a really bad rap when in reality it's just something that happened to inspire them, and I think that a lot of people who are phenomenal artists now would not actually be in this business if they didn't start out with their initial inspiration of canines or felines or equines or whatever it is. And that's kind of why wolves are so important to me, is because they were the original thing that really got me hardcore into art and drawing and illustrating, creating characters, worlds, and so on. Okay, I will get off of my soapbox now. I thought of doing cross-hatching, but I figured that by doing these stringy textures with the hair, the furry textures with the fur, and even doing some lines for suggesting shading in their eyes and stuff, I didn't want to overdo it and have the texture work that I'm going to be doing later be overpowered by cross-hatching. Besides, the old version of this that I'm redrawing right now didn't actually have an established direction of light and shadow, so I feel like suggesting too much shadow would be more of a disservice to this challenge. Honestly, I kind of feel like I could just stop here with the inking and just leave it and upload it for you guys to color. I don't know. I'm just kidding. But I don't know. Would you guys actually want coloring pages? I don't know. But honestly, my goal with my ink work has always kind of been, I want it to look like a completed piece when the inking is done. Even if I'm gonna continue to color or do other things, if I'm done with the ink, I want it to look like it could still be displayed as is. Without any colors or anything, it still looks presentable in the court of art. How I'm going to wind up doing my watercolor this time is gonna be a little bit different. I'm using my watercolor pencils, but I'm gonna first block out my colors with some light strokes through my pencils, and then I'm gonna go over it and see just how much the water affects the opacity. And then I'll go back in and darken everything up to make sure that it's got the vibrance and contrast that I want it to have. A part of me wanted to change the color of the girl's shirt, outfit, jacket thingy from purple to something else, but I really wanted to stick as close to the original as possible and make it completely recognizable. So that's what I did. And of course, now we get into the watercolor portion. Look at my pretty bowl, I painted it. Look at my pretty paper towel, I tore it from its family. Look at my pretty paintbrush, I purchased it. Okay. Oof, that was weird. As I'm going back over this with my more contrasty colors, I'm trying something a little bit different. So when I went over this the first time with pencils, it was just dry pencils. And you can definitely tell that it was dry pencils. This time around, I want to dip my pencil into water and get some serious pigmentation going on, and then go back in with my paintbrush over the deep black, for example, and spread that around a bit and try and manipulate it into giving me that deep fur texture that I'm trying to get at. The coloring on this is the thing that took the longest because I did 2 layers of coloring, but I really think it helped the drawing to pop. If this were digital, I'd probably slap on some kind of a yellow background or something. kind of struck me after I finished doing all of the black that, hey, maybe, just maybe, the white should have some kind of shading in it.
Because yes, I am oblivious.
So I was like, why not pink? Like, bring in the colors from her shirt, jacket, outfit thingy in a subtle way. Tap, tap, tap. Gotta make sure this is dry before I go in there with this freaking pink pencil. Of course, along with the pink, I also wanted to implement some of the blues and cooler colors that we've got going on in like their eyes and their hair. So I'm gonna do another layer of blue. The last thing for me to do is actually just to shine this up, which we'll get to as soon as I finish going over this with my paintbrush. I'm using my white gel pen and I'm going in and I am putting plenty of highlight into it. And with that, we're done. Here's the original again, just so you can kind of see how things have changed. I would love to know what you guys have noticed have changed. I really like the eyes I used to do. I like the, I kind of like the posing a little bit more for some reason, but I like the interaction in the new one more. But I'd love to know your thoughts, so please let me know what you think. Again, I won't be around next week. I'm really sorry. I'm actually also going to prep you guys for the entire month of April. I'm going to be struggling to post anything at all. If you want to keep up with me, make sure that you follow me on Instagram, which is below, along with my Etsy and Facebook. And in April, I'll be able to tell you exactly why all of this is going down and why I'm taking so long. I shall be back to normal in May, and then we'll see what happens after May. I got more stuff coming up in June, so we'll see. But thank you guys so much for joining me. I hope you really like the final result, and I would love to know your thoughts. And if you have any embarrassing characters you developed as a kid, please let me know. Make me feel better about myself. But besides that, thank you guys for watching. Till next time.